don't even know where to start. Did my usual morning routine. Got up, dropped my mom off, came back, picked up my son, took him to school. Pearl returned. Someone found her and she was brought to me, so thank God. She was only gone for like a day. When she returned, I was like, I trusted you, you brat. I trusted you. But it's okay. I'm sure, like, in my mind, I wasn't worried. I was slightly worried, that's a lie. But, like, 98% of me was like, she's fine. She's fine. Because I know that if she doesn't know somebody, she'll run. She's not going to go to anybody she doesn't know. But also, she knows when she needs help, so she'll allow someone. If she was in need, she'll allow someone to grab her. So I'm sure that's what happened. But yeah, so she's home now. We're all happy about it. She's got a new haircut, smelling clean and pretty. Made myself a cup of coffee. I'd been missing coffee for days. I had a Starbucks yesterday. That was a choice. I didn't want to spend $7 on a coffee, but I did. 7 or 8. Today I went to Winco, got my coffee beans, got my heavy whipping cream, got my hazelnut syrup, sugar, and a few other things. And now I got this headache. It's actually going away now, like real time. It's really odd. It's like up here. And I'm doing my best to accept my spiritual abilities. I stuffed them way down a long time ago. A long time ago, I stuffed them way down. Like, I didn't know then what I knew now. I was a child, I was like maybe 5, 6, 7 years old. Like, I was a child. I didn't understand the world, but I knew what I knew. And I'm coming to terms with that. And coming to terms that there are spiritual guides that follow me. They knew what happened to me and they helped me along the way. A lot of times I didn't have to do much due to my PTSD, CPSD, and like depression and all the bullshit that comes with trauma. And a lot of it was religious trauma and financial trauma. A lot of verbal abuse. And like when I was a child, I believe this for all children. Like, you don't know what's what. And it's most likely not true for everybody, but in my case it is true. I don't think I ever heard anything nice said to me, like, oh, good job, or anything like that. Like, there was no accolades from my parents. There was no physical contact, like embracing, having a hug, or laying your head on the shoulder. Like, I didn't get that from my parents. And for some of you, that may be hard to believe, but I don't give a shit. Like, this is the truth. You're gonna take it or, like, whatever. But yeah, I stuffed my abilities way down. And when I say abilities, I mean the 4 clairs. Clairvoyant, clairaudience, or hear, see, feel, and knowing. Those 4. So I hear, see, know, and feel spirit. It's like intuition on steroids. That's what being me feels like. It's intuition on steroids. And the fact that I was punished for being this way as a child, I obviously didn't understand any of it. But thank the unseen for just laying down the path, and my body just followed it. Like, it just did. That's just the way it happened. right now it's really hard to, I don't know, it just seems very heavy. I know that my abilities help people to feel better, see better, know better. But that being said, there are people that drain me entirely. I don't think they mean to. I don't think they know they're doing it, but they are. And I'm learning how to stay clear of those people, or at least have a boundary that says, okay, I've had enough. Like, stop talking. I need to go do something. That's not something I knew how to do. That's something I needed to learn in my adulthood. Yeah, so I'm catching up on years of empty time. All the years I missed out on training with my abilities. So I'm gaining that. It's very uncomfortable. And when I say uncomfortable, I just mean like the unknown, which is fear. It's scary to everybody, the unknown, but it feels like conflict to me, because I wasn't able to express myself the way I was gifted, and it caused me to second guess my knowings, my hearings, my seeings, my feelings. All while my mom is a professional gaslighter. She's like, but do you know how to spell help? But when was she born? When it was just questioning what I like. If I know something for a fact, she'll question it. Like, that's what gaslighting is. She's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I think that really, I don't want to use trauma. I want to use the word torment. It was very tormenting for her to be doing that to me. And as an adult and an empath, I'm just like, it was probably done to her, and she's only doing what she knows what to do. But that doesn't give her the right to continue to do it to me, and I'm building my self-confidence, my self-esteem by saying, I'm just not going to engage in that. And the harder part of that is just kind of verbally, like, giving her sass. I'm just like, how stupid and broken are you? Oh my god. I definitely missed out on a lot of time. I missed out on a lot as a child. But I guess it's definitely allowed me to have that childhood with my son. And that's something I shared with my therapist, for like, I am raising myself through my son. I'm being the mother and father I never had to my son. I'm raising myself. And parts of me, I'm like, not parts of me, I realize because that was done to me at an early age for such a long time, and I honestly believed I had no control over my life. That's, I don't know how, my next statement, I'm not sure how true it is, it's just something I heard. What was said is, an elephant was held down by a rope in a small cage, and was there forever, and it was, I guess, couldn't get out, and fought and fought and fought. And when the elephant was much bigger, the environment didn't change, but the elephant still believed that it couldn't leave. So even though the elephant could have left, broke through the chains, and just free, this large adult elephant just stayed there because it believed that it was restrained forever, or it couldn't escape. And that's how I felt. That's what I relate to. Again, I don't know how true that is. I just remember hearing it. And so when I came to the realization that my life is my life, and I'm an adult now, and I don't need to be held back by my parents, it still kind of had a ripple effect in my life, because that style of living, that torment, neglect, was normal. I didn't know any different. And it turned into the same form of torment and neglect in my personal relationships, my romantic relationships. So yeah, it took me years, and I'm still working at it. It's going to take the rest of my life to shed this bullshit. But it also grants me the space to do it, to shed the bullshit. And as far as like, I don't think I identify with the name psychic, medium. I don't know what other names they have, but I don't relate to those words. And it could be a subconscious thing because of what my father would say to me, what my dad would say to me, you know, about it. He didn't believe in it. He thought it was evil. Again, all religious abuse. So that could be a subconscious feeling, or the reasons why I don't want to identify with those terms. But that is what I feel. Also, I think I don't know if it's like the American thing. We kind of boast in our failures or whatever. But I identify with a witch. I identify with a light worker, empath. Recently I had to explain to a cousin, I'm like, magic is real. It doesn't have an effect on everybody because some people are more protected than others in the physical realm and the unseen realm, so we're all individuals. But there is dark magic and there is light magic. And because I've experienced both, it really bothers me when I hear certain people say, oh, the shadow won't harm you, the darkness won't harm you, like it won't harm you. I'm like, no. No. You're either being misled or you're misleading people. So I have very strong views on that. After my therapy session on Tuesday, yesterday, I started writing down things that I identified with, like feelings and words, for the purpose of being acknowledged, I guess, or fitting into a group, because I do feel like an outsider. And I'm probably not as an outsider as I believe I am, but just because, again, growing up in that environment, like, that's what I see because that's what I was told. I didn't have that ability that others had to be like, oh, I don't care. I cared way too much, and I still do. I'm a very compassionate and passionate person. but I was never able to really express that. And I was demonized by both my mom and dad. And I wish I can explain that, but knowing now what I didn't know then, they were pretty delusional. And I still believe my mom is delusional. No matter how many facts you show them, they don't believe it. And that's more or less the definition of delusion. So, also insane, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And it's pretty disappointing to know that that's the life I grew up in. So I'm gonna start a grateful or thankful journal entries now. I just have to. I need to get out of this framework that I've been in for a while, because there's a lot of things happening at once when it came to the last few sessions. Like things were surfacing that, were lost because I was stuffing them in me. So it was definitely like re-experiencing the stuff I endured. It's very, very real. I empathize with people with PTSD. I do believe there's different cases as far as like how extreme it could be. When it comes to my post-traumatic stress disorder, it embodies me. So it's not that I believe I'm in it. It's that everything is replaying over and over and over again in my head, and I'm re-experiencing everything. All the feelings involved, all the emotions involved, the sensations, the surroundings, the energies, like I'm re-experiencing all of it. Meanwhile, it's replaying in my head. I know that I have a grateful journal. I don't know if that's the name for it, but it's the only term I can come up with right now. It's like each day you just show gratitude. That's the word. It was back like in the mid-20s, 20 teens, you know what I mean? 18, 19, 16, 15, like around. Anyways, I was writing a grateful journal, and it was going fine. But it also felt like a mask. And I don't want to be wearing masks anymore. I was wearing masks my whole childhood, during that whole I wanted to be accepted and the good girl. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be perfect because that's what my parents wanted. My parents showed other children the love that me and my sister never experienced. It's like my parents loved other kids more than they loved us. We were like mistakes or something, Or we weren't what they expected, I guess. I think they had a lot of bullshit to work through, and they just refused to work on it. Like, they didn't recognize the opportunity the way I did. So I was wearing masks for a very long time. You had the happy mask, you had the religious mask, you had the know-it-all mask, you had whatever I had to be liked, accepted, and loved. And it felt like I never got it. And even when I did, because I do recognize my friends in school being accepting and everything, but I don't think I could recognize it at that time. I don't know. To me, everything was a lie, everything was fake, everybody was putting up a front. But anyway, hopefully I, get better at this abilities and really start exercising them the way I was meant to as a child. And like, I know the bigger steps to take, right? But taking the staircase to the next step is like the challenge for me, because I just want to leap, jump, I'm sorry, I'm having a flashback. As soon as I said that, I can hear voices of individuals in real life in my head, like their tone, their momentum, their voice in my head, speaking to me as if I didn't know something, or if I'm not happy enough, or I'm not grateful enough. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, they're making me feel guilty for having emotions, you know what I mean? Those are the things I suffer with the most. I don't remember ever having a genuinely good time. It always felt like forced. And I never really trusted my parents to not punish me for being, giggly and expressive. And it's like I can do no right, you know what I mean? So that's also what I'm working through. Accepting myself. Not that, I don't think I ever didn't accept myself. I was more like, I was self-loathing because I wasn't what my parents wanted. Like, I knew who I was, but it seemed like the world was against me. Like, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't win. And that's with everything, with, trying to be accepted from parents, church. And, like, now, I think I was thinking in the shower, I was just like, my parents were, maybe I'm wrong, because I was never around when they spoke to people in the church, but I'm more than certain people recognized how abusive my parents were. Like, I think they knew it, but they didn't know how to address it. And that hurts me the most, is that if you're not going to speak up, then what the hell are you doing listening? Why are you listening if you're not going to do anything? It really just bothers me. It doesn't bother me as much now. It's something that I recognize now as I'm working through these things. But, like, even that, like, I embody that now. If I see something, I say something. Even if I'm wrong, I'm like, well, my conscience is clear. You know what I mean? I just don't understand. the only thing I could ever hope for or pray for now, and I don't pray very often anymore, if ever, is that what I experienced, I don't want it to happen to anybody else, especially children, because I was a child. I am very protective with children, even if the child isn't mine. Even when it's child against child, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Let's cut this off. Let me talk to both of you separately and see what's really going on, because both of them have a family. Both of them have a living environment in their school environment. There's something going on both ends. I'm trying to find a new career path, and it may be with children, but I don't believe that now is the right time to engage in any kind of profession or career, just because of my state of mind. Like I said, a lot of things are coming to the surface, and I need to release that gas. I call it gas, like boiling water creates bubbles and it goes to gas, so vapor. So I need to let off everything that's coming to the surface. I need to let go, and then maybe dive into a new career with children. Now I'm thinking about it, it's like real time. I thought of myself as Moana's grandma. She's like, I'm the village crazy lady. This is what I do. She's dancing on the seashore. I identify with her. Like, I'm gonna be teaching these children. I would love it. I love it. And that right, I don't know if it registered on camera. I don't know how, but as I turned away, and I was like genuinely joyful and happy and just feeling good. It was like, ooh, don't do it. And that's because I was punished for being that way. I don't feel safe to express it. I don't think I'll ever express it. I think that's something I'm going to live with for the rest of my life. I think when and if it goes away, I'm not going to be overly giddy. It's just not going to be held anymore. So I'll be allowed to express it without holding back. But it's not going to be like when I was a child and like I couldn't control myself. I separated my books. I have tons of books. I even had several different versions of the Bible. I had a concordance. I had a couple of concordances. And researching what I researched, that's one of the many reasons that coming to the conclusion that, like, Christianity itself is just as cultish as the rest of them. Go ahead and believe in God, but this whole church thing and one person at the top or several people at the top and they're all making the decisions, and the people that pay the most tithes get the most attention, and you got the musicians and the teachers, and it's just, that's a realization that took me a very, very, very long time to, like, whoop, oh shit, this is what's been happening the whole time. Like, the veil was lifted. And those that lost faith or losing faith, and they return to Jesus and all this crap. I don't believe you're losing faith. I believe you're genuinely practicing what you're supposed to practice. You're genuinely asking God for help, and you felt like you weren't good enough, and that's exactly what the church wants you to believe. There's other deconstructionists, like ex-pastors, ex-attendees that were deep in it just as I was. And they'll be like, not all churches are bad. I guess you can say that, but just the fact that they're teaching the Bible, whichever which way they're teaching it, it's still cultish. Like, you can still do the outreaches, you can still do whatever community services you're going to do, and you can still teach a good message, but don't apply church to it. Don't involve that name. Don't put Jesus in the mix. There's all kinds of names in that Bible. There's all kinds of names in Islam. There's all kinds of names in Buddhism. There's all kinds of names in Buddhism. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. I think I'm more hurt with my parents than I am with the church. It's just that the church did that to my parents, and it affected me. And a lot of the times when I'm communicating with Christians, they're like, oh, so you're left because of man, or you left because, I don't know, whatever bullshit they want to share. And it's crazy to think, damn, I used to be in that position. Like, I used to be you, that person, like, oh, well, the word is, inspired by God, written by man, and they do all this mental gymnastics, and it's like, they genuinely believe their own bullshit. I can only hope that I get the right help and not the wrong help, because there's something going on under the surface that in some way, shape, or form, because I don't communicate with my community. I genuinely feel like I'm an outsider, but I'm slowly being incorporated, because I was never an outsider. That's just the way, it's just the way it was. I genuinely believe there's something going on below the surface, that I'm identified with Christianity, or like there's, like somebody just sees somebody, he's like, oh, Christian, oh, this one's a liberal, oh, that's gay. You know what I mean? Like, they see me and think religion, or spiritual, or Christian. They just, and it's like, excuse me, but no. Once upon a time, yeah, maybe, but no, not anymore. We're on the next volume. We're on the next, not even the next chapter. We're in a whole different book by now, you know what I mean? Volume 2. I mean, and I've gone to psychiatrists. I've never experienced a manic episode where, like, I have all this energy and I get so much done, and I don't finish any projects or whatever, just all this energy. I've never experienced that, ever. I don't identify with the definition of mania. I don't identify with the manic episodes. I just don't. And I know what it looks like, because I've seen my mom and my Aunt Carol do those things. I'm like, reading the definition, I was like, oh my god, they're manic. Like, now I can identify it, but I don't identify with it. I don't experience those things. And mania and manic episodes are a key characteristic of bipolar. I'm not bipolar. And saying that, all that I was working up to is my mom, whether she said it to individuals or not, she said it to me. Like, she was driving a narrative. She's bipolar. Alyssa's bipolar. She's Sybil. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Sybil. I never have, but my mom calls me Sybil. Or used to. She doesn't anymore, but now she swears she's being abused by me. Like, lady, shut the fuck up. Go sit down. Go take a fucking antipsychotic, because you're nuts. Yeah. And I say that to say the reason why I was like, well, they see people with Christianity. I think a lot of times they're diagnosing Christians with bipolar, and it's just not true. Maybe for some of them, and I say this because I had some friends with kids in the church, in a church, whatever, in Christianity. One of their children was diagnosed with bipolar. And this was years ago, and I said, no, I think they're just kind of throwing everybody in the bipolar basket. Like, I don't believe your daughter's bipolar. I genuinely don't believe it. But I think they're just like, oh, we got bipolar meds. Let's just put everybody in the basket. So, not every psychiatrist is that way, but I've definitely experienced it more than one time. And recently, this last time I saw somebody, I know that I said I've never experienced a manic episode. But what I gaslit myself afterwards, right? Because, I talk to the camera and I'll watch it back. I watch myself before I post it. And there's things that I recall. I was like, I recall saying that, but it didn't show up on camera. Like, did I just say it in my head? Like, was that real? Did that really happen? Like, that shit happens to me, you guys. I don't know if it happens to you, but it definitely fucking happens to me. So I'm like, fuck, I was gaslighting myself. Did I really say it? Was it in my head? Did she not listen? Did I say it right? What did I say? What did I really say? Did I really say it? You know what I mean? So I gaslight myself. Thanks, Mom. But at least she had more information than the other doctors had. They were just going off what they saw at the moment. She had a little bit of history on me. She was going over it, asking me questions. And she did. She really tried to push bipolar. She's like, oh, I don't see personality disorder, borderline. She said I wasn't depressed. I was like, lady, I know I'm depressed. Like, don't start that bullshit with me. I was depressed. I was diagnosed with depression professionally at 16. And my parents were told when I was 7 years old that I would be depressed. It comes with the life sentence of having a chronic illness. Mine is diabetes, type 1 diabetes. So they're like, it comes hand in hand. And them being the Christians they were, they're like, oh, we'll just pray for her. Oh yes. They definitely didn't practice what they preach. If you haven't noticed by now with all this jibber jabber, I'm slowly but surely defending myself in a better way. And advocating for myself, because I've never been able to do that. I just kind of accepted the bullshit and believed that something was wrong with me. Believed that I believed all the bullshit I was told, But there's a few groups I want to attend, so we'll see how that goes. And for those of you who believe that antipsychotics and antidepressants and all these medications that help people like me, if you've never taken the medication, if you don't have a serious diagnosis, then you have no opinion. Your opinion does not matter. It just doesn't. You don't know what people like me go through, and you don't know what those medications has helped me. You don't know how they helped me. So those of you that don't have a serious diagnosis, you don't have an opinion. Your opinion is irrelevant. Like, it does not matter. The only relevant opinions are those people like me, those people with serious illness that need to be medicated and want to be medicated. They're the only people that matter as far as what medications they're taking and if they're taking medications. So I really have a with some of the nurse practitioners and interns and students. They're so arrogant. They're so arrogant. And it's because they've never experienced anything like it. They're literally, just because I know where they've been. I'm like, I see you. I've been where you are. They're walking in like they got all the answers. Oh, this is easy. This is easy. I was just this. Life is more complicated than that. Whether you want to accept it or not, it's complicated. And I think it's complicated because of our upbringings. Everybody has a different upbringing, so we're trained to have a certain worldview. We're trained to have certain beliefs. And even if you don't resonate with that term trained, you are being trained. We're observing and learning and reenacting what we're seeing. None of us have freedom as children. None of us. All our choices and decisions were made for us. Some parents were better at it, and other parents killed their children. I mean, that's just the reality. That's just the reality. I remember talking to a doctor, and she had a intern, I guess, or somebody who was studying psychology, and she was sitting in with the doctor. And I'm pretty straightforward. Sometimes I'll catch myself in a lie and I'll correct myself right then and there. There's other times where I won't say something and later come up with something. I was like, oh, I should have said this, but my brain kind of slowed down. Like the AOL, remember the AOL? I can't remember the freaking doodle, but you know what I'm saying. And then I finally downloaded it. I was like, bing! That happens to me. But anyway, the doctor was trying so hard to get that girl to listen, and she just wasn't listening. Like, you could see it in her eyes, just like that woman that was being trained by that doctor seriously didn't give a shit. She thought she was looking right through me, and I'm looking at her like, this bitch, And the doctor was being real with me, which I appreciate. She wasn't judging me. She actually was a therapist I had in my teenage years, and I didn't recognize her until now. She's like, do you remember me? And no, I don't remember you. So she has my background in mind. But yeah. I think the student, like I said, I've been in their spot where you have all the books, you have all the equations, you have all this information, so you feel like you know it. You have all the facts, right? But the facts don't include the individual. It's a formula, right? So you have the formula, now you have to add the individual and then create your answer. I don't believe that's the way they're working. I think they got a formula and they just equal the diagnosis and not figuring out the individual. If that makes sense. I feel like it makes sense. It's like looking for, solving for X, right? And they don't solve for X. They just 9X. You still haven't solved the equation. Or maybe it's like the double 9a times 8b divided by 6 plus 8, like an equation. And they're not inputting the variable. Like the individual, for the individual, x equals ... They're not solving for these newbies are not solving the problem. They're actually probably making it worse. And I honestly believe it's because none of them are being corrected. They're just not being corrected. And then when they are corrected, they feel threatened. And I'm not sure I understand it completely. I know I understand some of it. That's why I'm able to identify it. But it's... the world is a mess. It's a mess. And the only thing I can do is create a different world that surrounds me, right? Ignore the greater issue, unless it directly affects me. But create a better environment. Just like my peer support certification says, that's circle. I don't know if I've come full circle. I know I've heard that term, I came full circle. I don't know if I identify with that. I don't think I fully understand the concept. But that being said, yeah, kind of like everything that I learned in peer support as a certified specialist. You're like, Alyssa, how can you be a certified specialist and have these issues? Like, I have these issues. That means I'm a professional in this field. I'm experiencing it personally, and I've got help personally, so I have a relative opinion of it. And that just adds to the fact that people that don't experience these things should not have an opinion. They just don't have an opinion, and it does not matter. And if you want it to matter, you're going to sit in the back seat and you're going to listen. And then you're going to raise a hand. And then the rest of us are going to genuinely observe your opinion or question or whatever. And we'll get back to you. Because you have no experience with any kind of disorder. So I don't understand why you have an opinion in this field. Minus your passion. You're not in it for passion. You're not. You think you're solving a problem that you have the answer to. And you don't, because you have no experience in it. Personal experience, not professional experience, because that's what school's for. You have no personal experience, like someone like me. Or versions of me. You're an individual. I was gonna do my hair on camera, but not today. I'm trying to think. There's probably so much more I want to say. But it's probably going to take a lot of quiet time before it comes up, just because I think about what I'm going to say before I say it. Sometimes that works for me, sometimes it works against me. Like right now, I'm not reciting anything in my head. It's literally blank. Just blank. I think with my last words, I'll say this. If you have a family member, a friend, coworker, anybody, even if you don't know they have a mental illness or mental difficulties or learning challenges, don't think of them as less than you. Because the fact that you disregard them as a person makes you lesser. So don't push us away. You don't even have to understand us. It's just treat people like human beings. Treat people like human beings. Because when you don't, you become what you hate the most. Or even worse, you don't realize you've become what you hated the most, and you talk a story that you don't live. And again, I know that from, watching family members, watching videos on YouTube of these people being arrested. They're just out of their minds. They believe their own bullshit. Like, don't believe your own bullshit. Oh my god. Anyway, you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. And if you pray, I hope that you pray that nobody gets taken advantage of. And that people genuinely see the light and outgrow their religious conformity. Yeah. Love one another, you guys.